Hello everyone, welcome to Teaching Pathshala. Today we are going to discuss about the transposons, and this topic we have taken from the unit of molecular biology. And in the end of this video we are going to solve some CSI and NET questions on transposons topic. So we are going to start with the definition of a transposons. So they are the short DNA sequence that have the ability to move from one location to other in a genome. So the main property is that they have the ability to move from one location to the other. That means they are the short DNA sequence and they have the ability to move from this position to this in a genome, and they are known as the transposons. Next thing is that they used to move through a process which is called the transposition. Okay, so the overall process through which they used to move, we call it as a transposition. Third point is that it is the rarest event. It's not like it used to occur very frequently. No, it is the most rarest event. Fourth point is that they are the moderately repetitive DNA sequence. Moderately means in between. It's not like it is the most or it is the least repetitive sequence. Point is that the most mobile genetic element in bacteria are the DNA. So the bacteria which used to have a genetic mobile element, that is known as a DNA. Apart from transposons, they are known with some other names too, like let me zoom that. Okay, so they are also known as the mobile genetic element, then insertion sequences, jumping genes, selfish DNA, and the junk DNA. So first we are going to talk about the selfish DNA. These transposons used to call as a selfish DNA because in the host, if they are present, so in that particular host they are not going to provide any additional characteristic. That is why they are known as a selfish DNA. And if you talk about the junk DNA, so it's like when defective particular DNA or the transposons are present, they no longer have the capability to either move or express their gene, and that is why they are known as a junk DNA. So if a transposon is defective, at that time it will be regarded as a junk DNA, and it is regarded as a selfish DNA because they don't use to provide any additional characteristic to the host in which it is present. तो अगर समरी की बात करें तो ट्रांसपोजोन्स एक ऐसा डीएनए सेगमेंट है जिसके पास ये एबिलिटी है कि वो एक प्लेस से दूसरे प्लेस पे ट्रैवल कर सकता है इन अ जीनोम, और जिस प्रोसेस के थ्रू वो ट्रैवल करता है या ट्रांसलोकेट करता है या फिर आप बोल सकते हो माइग्रेट करता है, उसे हम कहते हैं ट्रांसपोजिशन. Now we are going to talk about the different type of transposons. So it may be a retrotransposons or the DNA transposons. If it is a retrotransposons, then it has to travel through a RNA intermediate, and if it is a DNA transposon, then it has to travel through a DNA intermediate. So first we are going to talk about the DNA transposons, which has the two subcategories, that is the copy paste and the cut paste. Now let's focus on that. Okay, so copy paste transposons means it is also known as the replicative transposons, and cut paste transposons is known as the conservative transposons. This copy paste mechanism you are going to see in a eukaryote. That means eukaryote is going to have the replicative transposons, and you have to remember this because this is a very important concept. Eukaryote used to have a replicative transposons. If we talk about the cut and paste mechanism, then bacteria is going to show this cut and paste mechanism, and it is known as the conservative transposons. So eukaryote is going to have the replicative transposons, and bacteria is going to have, or the prokaryote is going to have, a conservative transposons. First of all, we are going to focus on the cut and paste mechanism. So you can see that this is a DNA sequence which is going to have this donor DNA. That means this segment is going to act as a transposon. So in cut and paste mechanism, there is a cutting of this segment that was supposed to act as a transposon, and then what happened after cutting this segment? Now this DNA segment is going to target a new DNA sequence, and then it will try to integrate itself into a new target with the help of an enzyme that is known as a integrase. So this is known as the cut and paste. From this area it has been cut, and from for new area it has been pasted. So that is why it is known as the conservative transposons, because overall this sequence has been conserved from this area to this area. Okay, the same DNA was present at this location and the same DNA is going to be present at this location. That is why it is known as the conservative transposition, because it is conserved through all the migration process. So this was the cut and paste mechanism. Now let's focus on copy and paste mechanism. So copy and paste mechanism is mainly going to be followed by a retrotransposons. Why it is known as the retrotransposons? Because it is going to have the RNA intermediate. So this is the donor DNA, and this area is going to act as a transposon, or for the better understanding you can say it as a retrotransposons. Now with the help of a RNA polymerase, this DNA is going to convert into a RNA intermediate, and then this single stranded DNA is going to convert into a double stranded DNA with a cDNA intermediate. And after that, this conversion, that is the double-stranded DNA, is going to target a new DNA sequence, and then it will try to integrate itself into that target new DNA sequence. So as because here it was initially present and it has been copied from here in the form of a RNA, that is why it is known as the copy and paste. And initially here we have seen that there is a cut and paste because the segment was cut and paste to some other location, but here the segment has been copied with the help of the RNA intermediate, and after that there is a generation of the double-stranded DNA just like this, and there is a pasting of that DNA segment into a new target site. And the main reason calling it as a replicative transposons, because here you can see there is a initial retrotransposons present, but it has been copied in the form of a RNA intermediate. So the new transposons which has been inserted into a new target DNA, this is the copy or the replica of this sequence, and this is the main factor why we are calling it as a replicative transposition or the replicative transposons. And the process which is going to take place is known as the replicative transposition, because this sequence will be going to be a replica of this sequence or the copy of this sequence. That is why we are calling it as a copy and paste or the replicative transposons. In next video we are going to talk about the different type of transposons, that is the bacterial transposons as well as the eukaryotic transposons. One thing I forgot to mention you, that the scientist who have discovered this transposons is the Barbara McClintock, and she was working on a maize plant, and while working on that she has came to know that there is some kind of a transposons or the genetic element which used to migrate from one place to another. Now let's solve one question from 2017. So the question is, you have discovered a new transposons, that is the TNX, and would like to identify its mode of replication. A heteroduplex of TNX sequence is made with a few mismatch and introduced into bacteria. The newly transposed genomic loci are sequenced. You find that the sequence of the transposons match exactly with one of its parent strand. This suggests that. So the overall condition was given in the question, and now they have given a different option. You have to select the correct option, that which option is going to be the result of the above mentioned condition. So in this question they have mentioned many things, fine, but smartness is that you have to pick only a important line that is going to give you an idea that what exactly will be the result of overall manipulation. So the important points are there is a discovery of a new transposons, and that transposon somehow with different process it has been introduced into a bacteria, and finally there is a sequencing of that transposons. And what was the result? There is a matching of that transposons with one of the parent strand. So now they are asking that as because there was a matching of that sequence transposons with one of the parent strand, what is the property of that newly discovered transposons? So this is what called the simplification of a question. They have mentioned many things like heteroduplex, then introduction to a different loci, then sequence. There is no need to go in that deep, because you only have to pick 2 to 3 lines that is actually going to give you an idea that how to solve this question, and that is what called a smart work if you are going to get a lengthy question. So in this question also they have used some of the complex words, so that is why they have tried to make this simple question in a very complex way. But although if you are smart in simplifying a question, this question will be the most easiest one. So finally they want to know that what type of replication mechanism this newly discovered transposons is going to show. So let's come to the option. The first option is the TNX transposons by a conservative transposition mechanism. So it is referring that the TNX is going to follow the conservative transposition mechanism. So if we remember, then in the previous slide we have studied that the conservative transposition is mainly going to shown by those transposons which used to follow the cut and paste mechanism, fine. But if there is a cut and paste mechanism, there will be the no matching of that newly discovered transposons with a parent strand, fine. So this is actually an indication that if some of the sequence of a transposon is going to match with the parent strand, that means obviously there is a presence of some kind of a copy or the replication like things. And if there is a replica of some other sequence, obviously there is a presence of a replicative transposition, fine. So easily we can eliminate the all option that is going to contain the all over property of a cut and paste mechanism. The second option is TNX transposons using a site-specific recombination mechanism. Like this statement is totally rubbish, like it has no use in the transposons topic. Next topic is single strand of a duplex are inserted. This option is also wrong. The fourth option is TNX transposes by a duplicative mechanism. So this option is the correct one, that TNX is going to follow the replicative mechanism for copying the particular DNA sequence, because it is going to match with one of the parent strand. That is why it is showing that there is some kind of a replication, or there is some kind of a replica or the copying of that particular DNA sequence. Fine. So easily you can able to see that, but just due to the one word, that is the newly discovered transposons was matching with one of the parent strand, this is only indicating that there is some kind of a replica formation or the copy of that sequence. So the correct answer is the answer fourth. The next question is from 2016. Transposons can be primarily categorized into two types: DNA transposons and the retrotransposons. Given below is some information regarding the above, that is about the DNA transposons and the retrotransposons. So we have to pick a correct statement and then we have to mark the correct answer. So the first statement is eukaryotic DNA transposons excise themselves from one place in the genome and integrate into another site. I have mentioned you in the previous slide that the eukaryote mainly used to have a retrotransposons, and retrotransposons mainly used to follow the copy and paste mechanism. But in exceptional case, there may be a presence of a DNA transposons, and if there is a DNA transposons, obviously that is going to follow the cut and paste mechanism. So if it is following the cut and paste mechanism, obviously it is going to excise from one place and it is going to integrate itself to some another sites too. So that is why, due to that exceptional case, we are considering the first statement as a correct statement. The statement B is retrotransposons are the RNA sequence that are first reverse transcribed into cDNA and then integrate into a genome. So overall statement is correct, but just due to the one word, that is the RNA, this overall statement is totally wrong, because in retrotransposons also the initial sequence or the initial element is going to be the DNA. Fine. And its name is retrotransposons because there is a RNA intermediate, not the initiator RNA. So initially there is a presence of a DNA. That DNA is going to convert into a RNA intermediate with the help of a RNA polymerase, and that is the main reason why we are calling it as a retrotransposons. But they have mentioned that the retrotransposons are the RNA sequence. They are not the RNA sequence. They are the DNA sequence which has been converted into a RNA sequence with the help of a RNA polymerase. So that is why we can cancel this statement, that is the B statement. Now let's move to the C statement. Retrotransposons move by copy and paste mechanism through an RNA intermediate. Obviously, this statement is totally correct because retrotransposons mainly used to make a replication through a copy and paste mechanism, and they used to follow a RNA intermediate with the help of a RNA polymerase. The D statement is, as DNA transposons move via a cut and paste mechanism, there can never be an increase in the copy number of a transposons. So this statement is also wrong because the transposons, as it is regarded as a jumping genes, they has the ability to migrate from one place to another. So whether it is going to follow the copy and paste mechanism or the cut and paste mechanism, they are going to make their huge copy in a genome. Fine. That is why they are known as the jumping gene or the insertion sequences. So obviously there will be the increase in the copy number of our transposons, whether they are going to move through a cut and paste or the copy and paste. So that is why this D statement is also wrong. So the correct statement is going to be the A and C, that is the statement option number 1. I hope this video was helpful for you. In the next video, we are going to talk about the different example of transposons, that is the bacterial transposons as well as the eukaryotic transposons. And we are going to take example of the Drosophila in that, and we are going to talk about the P element in our Drosophila. So if you are new to my channel, you can subscribe my channel for getting more different videos on CSIR NET, and you can share this video with your friends who are preparing for the CSIR NET examination. Thank you for watching this video.